What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to TTP Sports. Happy Easter to everyone as well that is celebrating that today. This is going to be more of a quick hitter than anything, just basically because the entire game today for the Phillies was a complete eyesore. They get blown out by the Miami Marlins in the final game of this 4-game set. They drop the 4-game series, lose 3 out of 4. And, things to take away from this game, Zack Wheeler was not good. The offense goes quiet once again after blowing the Marlins out yesterday. And basically, the same point's going to stand even after 10 games of the season. I am not worried. I'm going to keep stressing this because it is an 162-game season. I understand everyone is tired of hearing about that. But if you look around the Major League Baseball right now, a lot of teams are struggling. A lot of teams that you expect to be better right out of the get-go, they're struggling right now. The Braves are struggling. Dodgers, they're off and on. A lot of offenses struggling throughout Major League Baseball. Okay? I know it's frustrating because you're seeing the Mets go off. You're seeing all this other stuff. And yes, I'm very frustrated once again that we can't find a way to beat the Miami Marlins because they've been our kryptonite for the past 3-4 years. I'm frustrated about that. Yes, I'm not saying you can't be frustrated because I am frustrated along with all of you. But time has told that slow starts really don't mean anything. Not saying this team is going to win a World Series, but you look at the past couple of World Series champions, the Atlanta Braves, got off to a very slow start last year. Freddie Freeman off to a very slow start batting-wise last year. They were a below 500 team, basically below and above 500 team, basically just dwindling that range throughout midway through the season. They balled the deadline. They got hot at the right time. They won the division because the Mets collapsed, because the Phillies collapsed. They ended up winning a World Series. Same thing with the Washington Nationals in 2019. They had one of the worst records in baseball through May and June or something like that, 19-30 something to start the season. They got hot and they won the World Series. Okay? Slow starts happen. And at the end of the day, most of the time they don't mean anything because the teams eventually do get better. They do. 10 games into an MLB season out of 162 does not mean a goddamn thing. It's frustrating. I understand that. I am very frustrated along with you. But it's not the end of the world. This team will get better. The pitching will get better. The bats will wake up. All these bats in this lineup have a track record of, hitting the baseball and being good players in this league. Not worried one bit 10 games into the season. This team will get better. I'm going to keep stressing that because April, okay, there have been many teams that have struggled in the month of April, and they go on to have good seasons. You can struggle in the beginning of the year and then eventually become a good team. Sometimes that's how it works. That's all I'm really going to say at that point. Today's game wasn't good. Wasn't good at all. Zack Wheeler was not good. He struggled. Left a lot of pitches right over the middle of the plate. The Marlins were basically just hitting him. That's basically what happened. The offense went quiet. Even though I don't think Hernandez on the other side for the Marlins, I don't think he was pretty good today. He was leaving a lot of stuff over the middle of the plate as well. The Phillies were just fouling it off, foul tipping it. They were just missing it. And that's also where I come to that point. How much longer are these guys going to, just miss these pitches, just keep fouling them off, foul tipping them and all that stuff? They're eventually going to fix their swings. Kyle Schwarber is doing that right now with Kevin Long. He got a home run in today's game. Bryce Harper gets another home run in today's game. He also went 3 for 4, I believe, 3 for 5. So Harper got a good day at the plate. Bryce Harper, not worried about him one bit. He struggled in the beginning of the season last year, ended up winning an MVP. He's going to get better. He's a professional in this league. He's done it many, many times before. Not worried one bit. Castellanos, his bat, is one of the more hotter ones to start the season. Not worried one bit about him. Same thing with Kyle Schwarber. Everything evens out in the end. Everything evens out in the end. And if you look at track records, for a lot of these players in the lineup, it evens out. They're not going to be this bad for a full 162. Zack Wheeler, he's not going to be this bad. He was bad today. He's not going to be this bad. And also, you got to handle with Zack Wheeler right now. He didn't pitch at all during spring training. At all. This is basically the beginning of the season for him. This is his spring training. He didn't pitch a lick during spring training. Hence why his starts are going to be a little shaky. Yeah, worried about Nola? I am. Because he can't get guys out with 2 strikes. Ranger Suarez yesterday was good. Zach Eflin, Basically, I believe he is what he is right now. He's going to give you his good starts. He's going to give you his bad starts. That's what he is. He's a 4th, 5th pitcher in a rotation for most teams. Same thing with Kyle Gibson. I feel like the anomaly was the game against the Athletics where he got 10 plus strikeouts, but I don't think his normal routine games are what he had in Miami a couple of days ago. He's a 4th, 5th pitcher in this league. He's going to give you at least a high 3 to a low 4 ERA. That's what his, track record has been his entire career. He's a 4th, 5th type starter. Like I said, Zack Wheeler is not going to be this bad the entire season. He's basically just starting from scratch. Has not have a string, basically did not have a spring training. There are concerns about this team? Yes. There are definitely concerns about the team. I'm not saying they're a perfect team. I am not. I have not said one point they are a perfect team. There are issues with the pitching. Bullpen has been one of the more bright spots to start this year. It definitely has, but there's still concerns in the bullpen. Batting wise, I think the bats are just going to get better. The bats are not this bad for everyone to struggle at once. That's what I'm just going to keep stressing. And I feel like people that watch baseball, people that are the diehard baseball fans, I feel like they should understand at this point, yeah, it's not that end of the world. They're not worried. They're not concerned right now. The team is going to get better. I'm not overly concerned about this. I'm not even really going to go over the game today because it just sucked. It did. The Marlins are the Phillies' kryptonite right now. Yes, that is very frustrating to watch consistently. I don't know why this team could not figure out a way to beat the Marlins. I just don't understand why. It just feels like every time they go down to that freaking city in Miami, Miami is a goddamn city. Every time they go down there, that ballpark, empty ballpark, that logo, everything about it, for some reason, the Phillies just can't find a way to beat them. I don't know what it is. And the Marlins, for some reason, they just have this confidence every time they play the Phillies. I don't know why. Teams, I understand there's like specific teams, like every team has that one team that they just can't beat. But it feels like right now the Phillies need to really find a way this season to beat the Marlins more times than not. They do. And granted, yes, you are struggling to start this year. You are. But I'm just not going to sit here, overreact, and treat every single game like it's 1 week of the National Football League. I'm just not going to do that like what most Philadelphia fans do. Sit back, look at it rationally, and think to yourself, are the Phillies really going to be this bad over a course of 162? Are they really going to be this bad? You got to think to yourself right here. The pitching, we knew coming into this year was going to be a little shaky to start off because of the shortened spring training. It was. No one's going to go out there, pitch 7 innings, 8 innings every single game. Yeah, you got the Clayton Kershaw situation. But Clayton Kershaw is Clayton Kershaw. Zack Wheeler, I've said this many times today. He didn't pitch a lick in spring training. It's going to take a little bit for him to get going. Ranger Suarez, I still don't know what he is, even though he had a good game yesterday. I still don't know what he is. Hopefully, he can find a way to be more positive than negative. Zach Eflin, Kyle Gibson, they are what they are. 4th, 5th starters in this league. They're going to give you their good games. They're going to give you their bad games. That's what they are. Aaron Nola, I feel like, is the more concerning pitcher out of the bunch. Because in his couple of starts so far, he does the typical Aaron Nola shtick where he dominates for a couple of innings, and then he has the inning or two where he blows up. And it puts the team in just a terrible position. And yeah, right now the bats aren't helping the pitchers out. But right now, the past couple of games, the pitchers have not been helping out the bats. It's got to work both ways. Everyone has to show up. And still, going to keep stressing this. I've said this many times. It's going to get better. This team is not this bad. It's a very frustrating start to the year. It is. But if I look around the entirety of Major League Baseball right now, if I look at the standings and just see what teams are looking at right now. NL East, if I go all the way down to them, the Braves, they're 5-5 right now. Their run differential is a -8. Their pitching hasn't been the best. Their hitting hasn't been the best. Yeah, the Mets, they're 7-3 to start the year. But look at past seasons. The Mets always get off to this hot start. And they keep it for a long, long period of time. Look what happens in August and September. when baseball actually gets, serious, getting closer to the playoffs. I know the Phillies haven't been able to do that either, but people are worried about the Mets right now. The Mets are one of those other teams where they have to prove it in order to believe they can actually make the playoffs because they haven't been able to do that. The Mets met for a reason. And it's the same situation for the Phillies. Yeah. They still got to prove it to us that they can, win come August and September. That's why I've said I'm not saying this team is going to win the division. I'm not. I haven't said that 1 second at all. I think this team is a playoff team. I think they're more of a third, second wild card spot. And if you're thinking division is mandatory, I don't think that is the, logical expectation for this team. I just don't think so. Because right now, the Braves still run this division. They are the World Series champions for a reason. They have, back to back, NL East crowns for a reason. So just sit back, calm down for a little bit. I understand you're frustrated. I'm frustrated along with you guys. I am. It's 10 games into the season out of 162. If you're tired of hearing that explanation, okay. If you're already clicked out on the Phillies already, go ahead. You don't have to watch them. Go ahead. You don't have to watch them at all. I don't know how someone can already be checked out of this team already 10 games into the season, unless you're just, that's mind blown, that overreactive. Because the same people that are overreacting to the Phillies right now are the same people last year in August when we swept the Mets and everyone was going goo goo gaga over the team being in first place. Yes, I was one of them. But at this point, I know what this team. We still don't know what this team is. We still don't know. I know as I was just about to say, I know what this team is. I still don't know what this team is right now. But my expectations: second wild card spot, third wild card spot, and this team is going to get better. That's all I got to say. The team is going to get better. Yes, you're probably tired of hearing that. I know I keep repeating myself, but I'm just going to keep repeating myself because that's what it is. One week in April, 2 weeks in April. Yeah, of course, yeah, these games do matter. Yes, they do. But you're going to have your hot stretches. Say if you go on a 7-game win streak in the month of May and you're, so many games above 500 and you're pushing, into that second place spot in the NL East. What are you going to say about then? Are the Phillies frauds? That's not who they really are. The team's going to get better. Don't worry about it. The team is going to get better. They just are. You got to sit back, relax, think about it rationally. It's a 162 game season for a reason. I see some guys in the comment section right now. I see Jersey Man Mike saying, we're not looking good. We don't got pitching. Yes and no. We're not looking good to start the year. Yeah, it's frustrating to see that. They're going to get better, though. They're going to get better. Just can't say the team outright sucks, and that's who they're going to be the entire year. You just can't say that. You can't say that about a team, a lot of guys in this roster that has track records of being good players in this league. Track records matter. Stats matter. Nick Castellanos is a guy that can get you 100 RBIs and give you 25 to 30 home runs a year. Bryce Harper, he's an MVP for a reason. I don't have to explain much there. Kyle Schwarber, same thing. A bunch of playoff experience with the Cubs, with the Red Sox last year. He's a guy that can get you 25 to 30 home runs a year. Yeah, he's starting off very sluggish right now, but I'm confident he can figure it out and get out of it. He did the same thing last year, and look what his season turned out to be last year. Rhys Hoskins, we know what he is right now. He's a very hot and cold player. Gene Segura is a guy that's going to give you at least a 290 average, maybe on his good side, a 300 average. Didi Gregorius, yeah, I find that to be a question mark right now. But at this point to start the season, he's been one of your best lefty-handed hitters. He has been. That's a fact. Alec Bohm, I know he's been hitting to start the year, but you can't put him in the lineup consistently because that's how atrocious his defense have been. JJ Realmuto, I think his track record still shows that he's a good hitter in this league. And I think he's going to get way better. So you got to sit back and relax right now. Boomer says they are seriously starting to concern me. They're not concerning me. 10 games into the season. 10 games into the season. I am not concerned. I am not. A lot of these things, a lot of these pitchers still have to stretch out their arms fully. The shortened spring training hurt a lot of guys in this league. And I know we're seeing, some like specific few things around the league where starters are doing this and this and that. Okay. Shortened spring. Okay, Jersey man, Mike, we suck right now. What's going to happen in May? Are we still going to suck in May? Are we still going to suck in June? Are we still going to suck in July, August, September? Think about that. Think about that. Are we still going to suck then? This is not what this team is going to be for a full 162 games. For an entire 162 win season, there's going to be a lot of wins and there's going to be a lot of losses. Why do you think the loss to win ratio is always, there's a lot of wins and also a lot of losses? Because there's so many games in the season. You're going to have your bad stretches during a 162 game season. That's just a fact. All teams have it. This Phillies team is not built like the Dodgers where they can win over 110 games a year. They're not built like that. They're not built like the Toronto Blue Jays, who have a very young core and can probably, fight for that World Series push this year. They're not built like these, gigantic juggernaut type of teams. They're still a good team. I'm not saying the Phillies are not a good team. The Phillies are a good team. They have their flaws. Yes, the Phillies have their flaws. But to outright say they suck, it's kind of overreacting a little bit. Don't you think? Don't you think it's a little bit of an overreaction? Okay. Mostly we don't got pitching and we hit a damn ball. LOL, we can score to win games and have teams come back. You really think the pitching is going to be this bad for this long? Look at the track record of Zack Wheeler. Zack Wheeler last year, Cy Young candidates, runner-up in the Cy Young voting, all-star. I've had people, a couple of videos ago talking about we don't have an all-star caliber pitcher. It's Zack Wheeler. And Zack Wheeler did not pitch once in spring training. So yes, his start to the season is going to be shaky. It's going to be shaky until he is fully stretched out. It's going to be a rough little couple of weeks for him. He'll get better. Not worried about Zack Wheeler one bit. And like I said, Ranger Suarez, yes, I don't know what Ranger Suarez is. He's not going to be the guy that's going to give you a sub-2 ERA. I just don't see that. I don't see that as sustainable. But if he can give you a mid-3 ERA, that's very solid. Very solid in this league. Like I said, for the same thing a bunch of times, Kyle Gibson and Zach Eflin, they are who they are. They are 4th to 5th rotations on most teams. Most teams. On bad teams, they're probably the best starter. Zack Wheeler is our only good pitcher. I literally mentioned Ranger Suarez 50 times. Look at what Ranger Suarez did last year. Like I said, I don't think he's going to sustain that sub-1 ERA. But if he gives you at least a mid-3 ERA, that is a very solid ERA to have in this league. And Ranger Suarez pitched really good yesterday in Miami, where they won. But to say Kyle Gibson is a bad pitcher, that's false. To say Zach Eflin is a bad pitcher, it's false. Aaron Nola, yes, you were right to be concerned about Aaron Nola. I am concerned about Aaron Nola as much as the others. He is not the ace that he used to be. He is most likely a number 3. That's what he is. Aaron Nola, on his good days, he can dominate. But then when Aaron Nola has a bad outing, he'll have his couple of innings where he is Aaron Nola, and then he's going to have that inning where he blows up. But to start the season also, the bullpen has been a major surprise. They haven't been that bad. The bullpen has not been bad. Guys coming out of there. Knebel has been good. Brad Hand has been good. Familia for his, few outings has been decent. Some of these other guys coming out of the bullpen. Yeah, they're being put in bad situations. Okay, yeah, they blew up a little bit today, but over a track record, they've been fine. Over this part of the season, they've been fine. Julian says, we all knew the pitching was going to suck, but it's even worse when we thought. But what's the excuse? Most of the money is being spent on them. What do you mean? Most of the money is being spent on the pitching. What do you mean? What? What? What are you talking about? Most of the money is being spent on the pitching. It is not. Most of the money is being spent on the lineup, and the lineup has the track record to be good. Everyone in that lineup has a track record of being good in this league. Offense, okay. Offense's excuse, okay. Offense, all the guys are slumping right now. It happens. Slumps happen. 10 games into the season. We're going to judge a game 10 games into the season. That's my line. You don't judge one team 10 games into the season. I'm sure people with the Washington Nationals a couple of years ago, they judged those guys in the first month of the year. Look what happened. They won a goddamn World Series. People probably judged the Braves last year too for their very slow start. Or the Braves not going to, do anything this year. Look what they did. They won the World Series. I still said this Phillies team is not going to win the World Series. I've never said that. It just shows you that slow starts, sometimes at the end of the day, they don't mean anything. A team can get hot. A team can, live up to their expectations as the year goes along. And that's what I'm saying about this Phillies team. The offense is going to wake up. The guys are going to get hot. The guys are going to get going. That's all it is. They're just in a slump right now. To say that, Kevin Long's actually not helping us, okay. 10 games into the season, we're going to talk about getting rid of Kevin Long 10 games into the season? No. And to say that Joe Girardi is at fault for a lot of these losses to start the year? No. Years of pain, that's why we're acting the way we are. I saw a stat last week. They have been around for 117 years and made the playoffs 14 times. Yes, that's been the Phillies' track record their entire history. Yes. They have been a loser organization for a long time. Years of pain. Yes, I understand this team has not made the playoffs for a decade. I understand that. I am frustrated as the rest of you guys. But I understand the expectations are high. I'm telling you, I'm trying to, because I feel like I can't show my frustration because I'm trying to bring down the other people that are overreacting. Because you got to look at it rationally. A team is going to get better 10 games into an 162 game season just isn't enough to judge a team. It just isn't. It's simply just factual. Like, you can't judge a team 10 games into a very, 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 very long year. I understand everyone that's in this chat right now. I understand everyone on social media. You are all frustrated. I understand that. I'm not saying you can't be frustrated. I'm trying to tell you just to relax right now, look at it rationally, and just understand this team is going to get better. They will. I'm frustrated as much as the rest of you that everything right now to start this year is not going the way that we expected it to. But it's only 10 games. 10 games into the season. Relax right now. Don't overreact. Look at it rationally. Just do. And also, if you go back to, previous Phillies teams, that run that we inspired so much, the run from that Phillies team from the 2007 to the 2011 Phillies that we've loved so much. Look at the way the 2007 Phillies started that year. The team that finally got over that long playoff drought. That they finally got over the hump and made the playoffs. That April, they were goddamn atrocious. They started the first 10 games of their season 2-8. That first month of April, they were 11-14. And then look what happened the rest of the year. They got better. And they won the division. And then look what that sparked. Like I said, all you have to do, just get hot. And that also still shows to you that early season struggles sometimes don't, pan out to what the rest of the season is going to be. A team gets better. A team that, has players with track records of being good in this league, they eventually get better. You're going to go through your slumps through an 162 game season. You're going to go through your highs in an 162 game season. I know I keep stressing that point, but it is. It's an 162 game season. You're going to have your ups. You're going to have your downs. Sometimes those highs are going to be very high and they're sky high and it's a great time. And you're going to have your lows when they're extremely low, and the world is crumbling at that point. I understand all the frustration here. I'm not saying you can't be frustrated. I'm not. Just try to relax, look at it rationally, and understand this team is going to get better. I can guarantee you that this team, this lineup is going to get better. Yes, question marks with the pitching staff? Certainly. There are certainly question marks with the pitching staff. But I don't think over the course of an 162, Zack Wheeler is going to be this bad. I can tell you that, Ranger Suarez, yeah, he might not be the sub-2 ERA that he was last year, but if he gives you a mid-3 ERA to a 4 ERA, that's still very solid in his days of baseball. Aaron Nola, yes, concerning. Will Aaron Nola even out as the year goes along? I still think, last year was more of an outlier, and his Cy Young year was more of an outlier. If he finds the way to meet in the middle, that's more than enough. Kyle Gibson, Zach Eflin, they are what they are. They're 4th, 5th starters. They're going to give you their good starts. They're going to give you their bad starts. That's what 4th and 5th starters do. So right now, you have a right to be frustrated. You all have a right to be frustrated. Jersey Mimic, the lineup is good right now. We can't do anything. We're getting beat by bad teams. Okay? But do you think the lineup is going to be this bad for 162? Do you really think the lineup is going to be this bad for a 162 game season? Yes. They're losing to the Marlins consistently. Yes, that is a problem. But do you think over the course of an entire season, this lineup is going to be this bad? And do you think the pitching is going to be this atrocious? Do you really think all that's going to carry over to an 162 game season? Do you really think that? Because if you do think that, okay, I don't know what to tell you. That's all. But I feel like at the end of the day, I've been stressing this point way too much. And I'm going to keep stressing this point way too much because it's only 10 games into the season. That's it. Struggles happen. Your highs are going to be very high. Your lows are going to be low. That's what the course of an entire season is going to be. So, I feel like I've stressed this point for, a little bit right now. Feel like I'm going to end it off right here. Enjoy the rest of the night. And like I said, what are your thoughts? Just everyone in the comment section down below. Don't forget to leave those down there. Don't forget to drop a like on the video. Don't forget to check out the Painted Lines, which I'm a part of. The links are down in the description below. Also, don't forget to check out the links to BrodesMedia, the Flyer.pod merch website, Flyers Nitty Gritty. All that good stuff is down in the description below. Don't forget to check those out. And like I said, hit that sub button. Use the code TTPSPORTS for $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase. And I will see you next time, guys. Just calm down right now. I understand you're frustrated. Calm down.